My name is Margaret Ann Windsor. The name I have to use is Peggy Ann Dempsey. I'm married to Childers. I was kidnapped in 41 and brought to Moulton, Alabama from Buckingham Palace. I found out about my kidnapping in 83 when I was flown out to Larry Flint's, who had been shot in all this in Georgia. I lived in Marietta. He was shot in Lawrenceville in 78. I was flown out there during a political campaign, and I usually show all this because Hustler magazine, everybody knows Larry Flint was shot. I show other documents and the birth certificates. Both twins were dead. They were killed by their mother. I didn't find out about my real name until that campaign in 83. Now, I want to get to what sounds like I have a illness. I've been kept penniless, and I have been run with using chemicals because I'm allergic. My immune system attacks itself. And they have been horrific. They go from causing me to be dizzy, vertigo, other. It has to be really toxic and close in, or I could have lived a normal life. But then I got kidnapped and robbed of my mom and dad. And the homes I should have had, like Buckingham Palace, where Elizabeth lives, illegal. I've put all this up, so I'm going to just add this. This sounds trivial unless you... I've tried to put up in photos of me of what the last 2 years, but really the last 4 months have done to me. They aged me. You can tell by my eyes and my face that my kidneys are failing. I know they are from the toxic fumes. And my lungs, and I don't know what else. I go to the doctor tomorrow and have a physical. I guess I'll find out maybe things I don't want to know. But anyway, people, this is so high up in the government doing it, because the United States does kidnap. They do it, not pay ransom, but they do accept ransom money and demand it, as they did with me, ongoing. So I'm just going to give you a little that sounds trivial unless you see where I can't walk from the fumes that, I put this up on social media because I can't get an attorney. It doesn't seem to have helped, but I can guarantee you should keep social media. It's the only place you can get some truth. So anyway, I have been force-fed toxic fumes and kept penniless. Made a pauper. Keep quoting Larry Flint because he was shot in all this, and he did an article, and he says I know who was responsible for his shooting. And in other articles, he said they made a pauper out of me. Besides the torture they've done to me and my children, and I don't know where they are. They're heirs after me. So, today sounds simple unless you get background on it, and then you get a whole different view, because if you did a background check on me, first of all, that's not my name, Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers, and the other is you would see credit ratings. You can't pay a bill unless you have money. They've deliberately kept me penniless, running from place to place. At one time, I barely have more than 2 pair of pants. I'm lucky to have those. So I look like a bag lady pulling stuff. Only now, the inflammation and damage done by the toxic fumes being used. And what they do is the agency doing it that gave me the letter back in June the 23rd of 78, 79, ongoing investigation, national security involved, are the ones doing it. And they get law enforcement to do it. And what they do is get things on people. Everybody has something to hide. They have even threatened people's children. You think that gives them the right to commit the crimes against me that are ongoing? And I found that they get the jollies out of it, really. I know that the last few nights here where I'm at, and the people that own it are connected, oddly enough, to people I'm told that were sent over here to help me. Instead, it seems they've acquired hotel after hotel and got very, very wealthy off the land and everything. Even friends way up to the senators who were former governors here, Martin Warner, I guess he'd be friends Bob Goodlat's, who's national security. He's on the judicial committee. Very important committees. All right, and then you've got who's it? Well, Tim Kaine was former governor, senator, ran for VP with Hillary Clinton. All these people know about my kidnapping. They know about me writing the book and what happened to me. They know about the mind control murders at Virginia Tech. There's a list of them about Larry Flint, and they say nothing. The media won't touch it. But today, this sounds trivial unless you get all the things, the truth that's been deleted, and the media here won't touch it. I have hand delivered it, gone to D.C., and fell down in the Capitol building back in 1982 with a letter from the FBI, the book on me, the rejections, or the almost, it went before the board of Revell Publishing. So there was no doubt in anybody's mind what was going on. I fell down carrying all that stuff with no money, no place to go, through the Capitol trying to get to senators, and then some of them wanted me dead. I was told not to go to O'Neill's office. Ronnie Flippo, I think, was a good guy. He was from Alabama, and he was over the Space Administration or Committee back in 1982. So anyway, this is trivial today unless you know that some people have seen the video, and rather than helping, they've actually come up and sprayed at night the air conditioning unit from the outside with stuff that I actually thought was going to kill me, and it causes so much inflammation. And they're getting a kick out of it. I can't call the cops. I've done that in the past, and they'll say, well, we'll just lock you up. And they would do it. So today sounds trivial unless you understand I've been made beg. You all stole my money, America, and part of my family did. And you stole my sons. I don't know where they are, if they're alive or dead. You've done things to me. If I could sue in court, would bring down this government. It is so atrocious. And money, you can't give me back money you stole from me. But the cases of crime done against me would bring back so much money if I could get it into court. So today sounds trivial because all of it's been deleted, the truth has. But today it was real important to me. I had to get a document. I went through topsy-turvy trying to get somebody, because everybody else has cars but me. They have money, they eat out, they have their kids, and they go to school. Oh, they don't want to be bothered with me or telling about Virginia Tech murders or who I am and what is being done to me. Okay, so to make it short, yesterday just trying to go to get my mail, get back to here, and I put all that up, how I'm tossed around with chemicals and sick, and pay rent and can't stay 2 days when I paid a month and I have to leave. So I'll just say here where I'm at. I've stayed here before. Sometimes over the last 2 years. But I came back in here, and I simply went up there. There's other things went wrong, but I simply went up to the office, and I tried to mail this letter that's very important. They can cancel on me, and it'll cost me a lot, and I don't have it. So they wanted me to go, and they didn't have a mailbox, so they wanted me to go in the front, and I can hardly walk. I'm dragging with a walking stick and can hardly walk, so any fool can look at me and see. So I walked down. Well, the mail was still in there. It's next to the Waffle House here, the mail from yesterday. So if I put my mail in on top, Waffle House is going to come and take it all, and Waffle House mine gets lost. Besides, there's a lot of people hanging around here that could just have their fun. I've had mail stolen before. I really have, out of the mailbox. Not this one. But anyway, I ended up going in, waiting at the office, because they said the mail runs at around 2 o'clock. I asked them, but they don't have a mail drop. Well, I went back up there and told him that there was mail in the box in the Waffle House mailbox, and told him the situation. Well, he would have his maintenance guy come and pick up my letter and put it in take the Waffle House mail in and put mine in, put the flag up. I want you to follow this because this is one of the good days I have. Okay, I'm desperate to get this mailed. So I end up going back and getting my letters from him so it doesn't get into the maintenance guy and hoping he does his job and Waffle House and the mailman comes and picks my letters up and they aren't stolen out of the box. So I go and pick mine up and I go into the Waffle House. Mind you, I'm walking when I can't. I go to the Waffle House and I ask the man, I tell him, the manager, and he said, well, you can bring our mail in here and you can put your mail in our box. Well, I have to go back to my room. I have to go back there and I go to the mailbox and I bring his mail back to him. I put my mail in. Well, then I stopped to think. I forgot I did have a ride to the doctor tomorrow and hopefully I can get it mailed. So I went back down to be on the safe side and picked my mail back up after I'd gone through all that. And, it's a joke. I was then told, let me say this, that the mail comes in, where I'm staying, the motel, doesn't have a post office box, but nobody told me this, that the mail comes up in and stops and I guess goes inside and picks up the mail. Now, why was I given the runaround so that I'm walking? It's almost like when, and I'm leaving all this out, I'm just going up the street here. It makes me look like a fool, if that's the way you want to view it and you think it's funny. I went in up because that's the only place I've stayed where I could get fresh air, okay? You know what I did? I dragged trash bags. I dragged my information I have, a suitcase, a backpack, sleeping bag, and the trash bags with a few items I have. Do you think they'd help me? This is next door at the Super 8, and I had photos of that, the long corridor. I actually fell down, crawling, trying to pull the stuff back to the room. And I was on the carpet crawling to get up, and no one would help me. I asked, nobody would help me.